Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Drew.
And welcome back to Let's Table It. Today we are continuing our journey of curating our collection. And so if you haven't seen any of these videos before, we are playing through our collection shelf by shelf and kind of deciding what gets to stay, what really deserves our shelf space, because we don't have a huge house and our shelf space is pretty limited.
Yeah.
And I've got games everywhere right now. I need to get these games on the shelf. And so if it's not like a fantastic, it will break my heart if we get rid of this game, it probably is going to say goodbye. We're going to say goodbye to it. And so if you want to find out more about this project, I explained it a lot more in detail in our first video, and I'll link that below if you're interested. And I also have some tips on there if you're kind of trying to do this for yourself, because I know it's ever the journey for board game collectors trying to decide what stays and what goes. But I really just want to jump in to this shelf, and we're going to start with the game that we played as a whole family, all four of us first. So here we go. Okay, first up we have The Adventures of Robin Hood, specifically the Friar Tuck in Danger expansion, because we have played through the entire first base game and are now adding in the Friar Tuck expansion. And so this game is very narrative driven. You're going to be reading from a book that tells you how to set up this scenario. And then you're going to be moving your pieces. Some are shorter, some are longer, and you have to kind of decide how to use your energy, because if you don't use your longer piece, you're saving your energy and you get to add more success cubes into the bag. And so then when you have any type of conflict, you're going to pull cubes, usually 3 or 4, out of that bag, and you have to get so many white cubes versus purple cubes, and the white are the success and the purple are the miss.
Right.
And so you want to kind of make sure you have a good proportion of white cubes in that bag by the time you hit those conflicts. And so it's just kind of fun to live through these stories, these classic stories of Robin Hood. And we did enjoy, obviously, our first base game playthrough enough to dive into the expansion. And so
it's a fun game. Little luck, a little strategy. You know, if you want abstract type games, this is not for you. It's definitely a heavy storytelling game. But I think that for a family, that hits on for most people. So it's been a lot of fun. That little bit of strategy, but like I said, it's not so much that it's, you know, AP totally heavy thinking. You're just playing through.
And it's a co-op, so you can make those decisions as a family. This last play, we were like, oh, well, who wants to go try this and that? Because our last play, I felt, was a little more open-ended. Like, we didn't have as much direction as to what specifically we needed to do. And so it was kind of nice to be able to just be like, oh, so I'm going to go do this, and you go try this, and we'll see, and we'll meet up later. And it was fun.
Yeah, and each, you know, player that has a slightly different ability and some things like that too, which add to it. So yeah.
So are you ready for our rating here? Okay, so we go 3, 2, 1, keep. So I think this one stays in the collection until we finish our last 2. I think we have 2 left of our expansion, and then I'm happy to give this to somebody else to experience 100%. This. There is a way that you can go back and you can replay the scenarios and maybe make different choices, but I don't know that that's something that we'd be super interested in, maybe if we had all the time in the world, but we have so many other campaign games that we need to get to. So I think we will play through our last 2 scenarios on this one and then pass it on to somebody else. So this one stays in the collection for now.
Okay, our next one coming up is Dog Park. So this is another one where it's a little bit of resource management and set collection. You're moving along, trying to get what you need for these dogs, to take some on leads for walks next time, to get some dogs. All the while, there's a little bit of an auction at the start, trying to manage points versus getting the dogs you want that score differently. Each breed will score differently in any given game, depending on what order they come out and things like that. So, you know, it's not a bad little game, honestly.
No, I love the dog art. It's super cute. And this was the first time we played this with our daughter. She will be turning 12 soon. And if I'm honest, this one was kind of on the fence for me. I wasn't sure. And then I wanted to try it with 3 players, because at 2 players, you have to have an AI dummy player that you roll the die and then they move that far and yada, yada. And that's not our favorite thing in
Yeah.
games. If I honestly kind of feel like if you're going to say it's a 2-player and then I open the box and find out that I actually have to have manage an AI to play it, I'm disappointed in that because it doesn't really play at 2. It has to have a
Yeah.
third player.
Yeah. Overall.
And so that's not our favorite way to handle these mechanisms.
Yep.
But at 3, it was a little more smooth.
It was. It was.
It's still simple.
Yes. Yeah. I think that is something to keep in mind. Again, family weight, simple game, not huge decisions overall. So.
Are you ready for our rating?
Well, I think so.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Meh.
I was close to Cole. Close to Cole, but I know our daughter.
I think that was what swung it because when we asked her after we played if she liked it, if she'd like to keep it, she did say that she did enjoy it. And we're a dog family.
Yeah.
It probably would have hurt my heart a little bit to get rid of this one just because of all of the cute dog cards. And if she'll play it with us, I'm happy to keep this in the collection. Yep. We'll see if it's one that gets requested.
That's going to be the kicker. I think if it hasn't, if we go through a year and it hasn't been requested, then we're in all honesty, we need to move on. But right now, I suppose we'll keep it around.
And we do have the expansion for it, so that can add in a little bit more as well. And maybe the next time we decide to play this, we'll add that in with her and see how she likes that. So for now, Dog Park is staying in the collection. Okay, so now we're moving on to the games that Drew and I played as a couple. And first up is New York Zoo. New York Zoo is a polyomino game. And it is a straight up race to fill your board. You are just trying to get your entire board filled with pieces.
Yep.
And so you're going to do that by housing animals. And then when your enclosures are full, you will get to add extra bonus tiles that can kind of fit in those smaller little spaces that you might have gaps in. And then you'll also have a choice when you're moving around the drafting board. You can either draft animals to put into your enclosures or new pieces to fill in your zoo area.
Right.
And as those enclosures fill up, you can move those animals around. You get breeding as it goes around and passes different markers to try to help fill in. So there's a little strategy as far as kind of splitting up so that you can have your 2 full breedings.
Yes.
And just kind of managing that space in a really smart way.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Fairly simple overall. There's definitely some strategy. If you're thinking you should take a bunch of the big tiles to fill it up, but the problem is then you've got to fill it up breeding wise to be able to actually score those and move on and do those types of things. So, at the end of the day, there's definitely a give and take.
There's a balance for sure because you want those enclosures, but to have those enclosures, you have to have animals to put into them. And you're also trying to fill up those other enclosures so that you can get those smaller tiles that are going to fit in those gaps.
Yeah, they'll fill in all the little voids. So, yeah.
And so there is sometimes this really interesting tension when you get to the end of the game and, you have a couple small spaces. So you're trying to figure out how can I fill these up the quickest before my opponent does. And I like that race aspect of it a lot. So anything else from you?
It definitely is a different feel, than something like Barren Park as far as how you need to approach playing it. I owe it for the longest time. I just kept approaching it like that and I just could not figure it out. So it's got its own twist on what most people would think of for the normal polyomino, whether that's Patchwork or Barren Park or something. The way you've got to manage those resources and how you go about the enclosures, it definitely has a touch difference.
Yes.
So
are you ready?
I suppose.
Okay. 3, 2, 1,
Meh.
keep. I love this game so much. It is one of my favorite games. And maybe that is because it's one of the only polyomino games that I do win.
All the time?
So far, yes. But this last time was the closest.
It was. I was one small space off.
And so I think another little secret for this game is when we first bought it, we played it completely wrong. And I didn't realize it until I played it on BGA. And I think that really hampered us too, because when I brought it back out and I was like, well, actually, this is what we're supposed to do, it just wasn't clicking as much for Drew because we played it wrong before. Yeah. And so I think now that we've got the rule set kind of internalized, it'll help and it'll make it go a little more smoothly for us. But for me, this one's kind of a non-negotiable right now. I love New York Zoo, so it's getting kept.
Yeah. Okay, our next one is Trekking Through History. This is a gorgeous game. It definitely has an interesting set collection where you are trying to get these cards in basically chronological order. And at the same time, as you're pulling these cards, they're giving you small tokens that are helping you fill up
Like an
spaces.
itinerary
Yeah,
card.
spaces on a round. And depending on how you do that and how well you do, you get points, you get time tokens that help you basically use less time. They give you wild tokens. Lots of different things happen, but it's definitely one of those that is again a little bit on the lighter side, but it's got some good urgency and a good decision space, I think.
Yeah, there's a bit of luck on this
Oh
one
yeah,
where,
depending on
you
how those
know,
cards.
and those cards come out,
Yeah.
and so you are waiting for this perfect card, and then you take your turn, and the next card is the perfect card that you needed, and then the other
Yep.
person takes that card, and it's one of those give and takes.
Yeah.
You just have to be okay with shifting your plans a little bit and not being able to stick to exactly what you wanted the
Right.
entire time.
Yeah, this is one I think that, like I said, I don't think it's hard. It's a really pretty game. The one thing that can happen is if you get behind on some of those cards, there's no catch up. There's no, you've got to hope that you're the one getting the perfect cards for the next round. Otherwise, it could start to get ugly.
But also, it's very swingy. So
yeah.
you might feel like you're
Yeah.
way far behind, and then at the end of the game, when you
On those
score your
sets,
timelines, then you're going to just, if you manage to get big sets, you're going to just jump way ahead.
Right.
So you might feel like you're behind, and then at the end of the game, kind of make that jump too.
Yeah.
So
there's a bit to it. It's
keep in mind.
definitely on the lighter end, and but the nice thing about it, you're playing for half hour, 45 minutes for the most part. So
Okay. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Cole.
We said so many nice things about it.
And
we do
it is a
like
great
it.
game.
It is
It's
a
great
really
game.
fun game. I think in my brain, I've always thought this is a really good family game and that we'd play it with the kids. And then every time we pull it out, the kids don't want to play it.
Yep.
And so I don't know that it's one that Drew and I would pull to play by ourselves.
Yeah.
If the kids were interested, we would probably play it.
Yeah,
a lot
and
more.
in any given circumstance, if somebody was like, "Do you want to play this?" Sure.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with
absolutely.
that. But again, we're trying to be honest with the collection and with where we're at and with way too many games. And this one, it doesn't get asked for, it doesn't get pulled. When we do, we're fine with it. But it
still doesn't wow us.
Yeah, that's the kicker. Yep, agreed.
So it's unfortunately time to say goodbye to Trekking Through History, which is an absolutely gorgeous game, a really good gateway game,
Yes,
I think.
yeah.
If you're just starting to build up your collection, this is a great one to try. But for us, it's time to move on.
Yep.
So we will be calling Trekking Through History. Okay, next up we've got Kavango. And this time we played this just the two of us, but we have played this with our daughter before. And it's fun. You are drafting animals or ecosystems or different bonus cards from a hand and then passing it on. So there is a little urgency there of, oh, I really want this card. How can I get it before somebody else takes it? You do have some areas on the side of your board that you can place cards that you're going to save for later, but you can only do that for 3 cards at a time before you have to make sure they have a place in your conservation center, I guess is what we're doing here.
Right.
And along the way, you're wanting to earn money by hitting different goals each round.
Right.
And then you spend that money to up your conservation status for the world, for your security, for your... There's another one. There's like a...
There's a... The shared one is the climate. And then you've got security, you've got... I can't
remember what the third one is, but there's 2 personal ones and 1 shared one in the middle. And so certain types of animals are going to need higher conservation status on each of those sections. So you have to really pay attention to what that card needs before you place it down. Because I think we both run into that before. We're like, oh, shoot, I forgot. I do need level 2 on this and I only have level 1. And as you get things on your board, you will be able to place higher and higher point animals down because they'll need more resources. And so you're kind of trying to build a little bit of an engine on your board while still going after those goals. So there's a bit to think about.
There is. This definitely does have... I know some people don't like the art. I think it's fine. I have no problem with it. It's a table hog, though.
Yes, it really is.
2 people is fine. 3 people gets close. I'm not sure. 4 maybe on a game table. 4. I mean, we are talking about a huge game just with those mats. They do have an expansion that's coming out that adds, what was it?
Some adjacency bonuses.
Yeah.
So they have lodges that you're going to
Yes.
place onto there and then onto your mat. And then you're going to want to make sure you get animals in those 4 surrounding areas that are going to help you score that lodge, which I think would help.
Oh, big time. Because right now it's just get what you can that fits, that's as high scoring as possible. But there isn't that placement aspect of it.
No, you're just going to fill in your board. There's
Yep.
no like, oh, well, if I put this here, then I can put this here and score that. No, there's nothing like that.
Yeah, again, it's a slight engine build, but not, it's still fairly light.
Yeah, I mean, our daughter played when she was probably 10, so it's not real heavy.
Nope.
But are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Keep.
I definitely want to try the expansion. We have had some issues with luck in this one where it just feels like one person cannot get what they need. And maybe that's being married to those higher point cards that you get at the beginning and really trying to go after those when maybe we need to shift. I don't know.
Sometimes it's just what, what plants come out to start. And, then you've got to try to use your conservationists or people like that to get some of those in just so you can play any of the cards you've been given. Yeah. So there is a little bit of that luck of the draw to this. But
and again, maybe like we said with Trekking Through Time or Trekking Through History, if you get behind, it's hard to catch up.
Yeah, you definitely, again, if somebody gets a few of the right cards and things are just going well for the engine they set up in that first round or first 2 rounds, it's hard to catch.
Yeah.
But
I'm always happy to play this one. I do see it on the shelf and think, oh yeah, I do want to play that.
Yeah.
And I think that the Lodge's expansion will help that even more from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So we haven't played it yet, but that is something that I'm looking to get to complement this. So for now, Kavango stays.
Yep. And our last one is Obsession. So this is one that, a lot of people have liked, etc. We played it for the first time at a game cafe, played it completely wrong. We loved it though.
Yeah, we were playing it that you could play through your whole hand for each round. And so that was, we got done, we were like, oh my gosh, we only played like 2 rounds. That was 90 minutes. But then we watched a playthrough and found out.
Yes.
No, it's just one event per round.
It definitely is one of those where if you like theme, this is a great game. There's still some strategy. There's still goals that you've got privately. You're trying to get card collection, trying to get the right bonuses and get things, go your way. Some luck of the draw though, because you're going to get some visitors that are absolutely amazing and you will get some that you can't wait to get rid of.
Yes. And that is kind of an interesting balance because you can get these really overpowered cards into your hand. As far as I had one that was like going to get me 800 pounds every time I was able to play her, but she was worth -3 points at the end of the game. And so I wanted to make sure I got her used once and then said goodbye because you don't want that kind of negativity at the end.
Yeah. And the flavor text on any of the cards, it's really fun. You kind of get a feel for why is it that this one gives you 2 prestige and why is this one you get you 600 pounds, but you lose 2? Well, it's an American. So.
Yeah, it's American socialite.
So anyway, it's really interesting. You've got goals, you've got the county fair, you've got all these little fun things that are going on. And all the while, you are trying to build up your manor house with better facilities.
Different events that you can host.
Yep, and get those hosts, get those better guests in to host and to get as much possible out of it for prestige.
While you're balancing that prestige level because some of those are going to require a higher prestige level for you to host that event or to play that that card from your hand. And so you need to kind of try to ramp that up so that you can take as much advantage of those as you can.
Yeah, and same with the locations. You have to have, if you build, some conservatory or courtyard, you might have to be at a level 3 or 4 to actually use it. So those types of things are kind of fun too. So
and we have played now a couple times with the upstairs downstairs expansion, and that I think is going to live in the box, and I think we'll never play again without it. It adds some extra servants that can kind of multi-use. They can either sub in for a different servant, or like the cook lets you host
people above your
prestige, or there were a couple others there.
Yeah,
I can't remember off the
they're
top
all,
of my head,
I mean, I don't know. Personally, I love this game. I think it's fun. And the other cool thing is you kind of get that immersive with the flavor text and what you're working towards, but it's not that long of a game.
No. We play it in 45 minutes.
Yeah,
probably.
40. Yeah, definitely less than an hour for two. You know, granted, if you're playing with 3 or 4, it's probably going to be higher. But at the same time, as long as you're thinking about what you're going to do as it's going around, it shouldn't really take too long to play.
No.
Yeah, and we did get some of the premium things. We've got the coins and some stuff like this.
But it doesn't need to be chipped
It doesn't, and you can always
I
get your
thought
own.
about getting some stickers for the meeples that would kind of elevate it a little bit, but it's definitely not necessary by any means. And we do still have at least one other expansion that we haven't tried with this yet, so there's still more for us to explore.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, are you ready?
I am.
3, 2, 1,
Keep.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an evergreen in our collection.
Yeah.
I do not foresee us ever getting rid of Obsession, and probably more than likely acquiring any new things that
very
come out
possible.
for it because we like it that much.
Yeah, I think it's a top 25 game for me. It's just one of those that I want to play anytime. So
Okay, well, Obsession stays, and that is our last game from this shelf. We did kind of a shorter shelf this week, but let's come back and talk some stats. Okay, so this shelf had 6 games on it, and technically we did steal the base game of Robin Hood from a different shelf, but the expansion was on this shelf. So maybe we're down 1 game that we don't have to play from that shelf
true.
when,
I think so.
when it comes to it. But this was a lower percentage shelf for us. It just had some real hits for us, and we only culled 1 game out of 6 for this. But looking back, we have now played 26 games from our collection, and we've actually culled or put into a special collection, either like taking it to school or putting it into a seasonal collection. We've kind of taken 8 games off of our shelf. So that's about a third.
Yeah, that's
about
not
a
bad.
third of the games that we have played so far. And that's probably where we need to be, if we're honest, trying to get this collection down to the nitty gritty and the ones that we just absolutely love.
Yeah. I think we're on the right track. If we got rid of a third, that'd be pretty good overall. And I think we're going to start to hit that more and more. Some of these shelves, they're good games.
Yeah.
They're just happens to be where they are.
Some of these shelves, when we pull them off, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
There's no way that we're getting rid of any of these. But I really felt like that about our last shelf that we did.
Yeah.
And then we ended up culling 4 games off of that shelf. I think revisiting them really does help.
Yeah.
Just kind of assess where we are right now, because we might have really good memories of a game and think that was really fun when we played it. And now that we've grown as gamers and our kids have grown as gamers, those opinions can kind of shift.
Yep.
So revisiting has been a good choice.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So we will be back soon with our next shelf. So stay tuned. If you have enjoyed this series, make sure you're subscribed to Let's Table It, because you don't want to miss any of these. Or we have reviews that we put out every week as well. And if you want to see more of us day to day, our couple gaming adventures, our family, see what we're playing each night, we do have an Instagram account called Sarah Always Loses, so you can join us over there as well. But until next time, we'll see you at the table.